a shallow ditch on contour. Zero concrete, zero pumps, and $0. That trench forces 1 inch of rain to soak 12 inches deep instead of washing away. Nabataean engineers use this physics to farm deserts that receive 4 inches of rain yearly. Generating 1 inch of topsoil takes 1,000 years. By the end of this video, you will discover why this technology is banned in 12 states and how you can do it yourself. Hi, I'm Greg, and welcome to Building Grounds. Subscribe and hit the bell for more as we uncover building secrets they never taught you. The earth beneath every farm and every backyard in America is bleeding, not in some abstract metaphorical sense, literally bleeding. Brown rivers of soil wash off Midwestern fields after every heavy rain. They clog streams. They fill reservoirs. They carry fertilizer into the Gulf of Mexico, where it feeds dead zones the size of New Jersey. University of Massachusetts researchers calculated the damage. The Midwest has lost 57.6 billion metric tons of topsoil since settlers first broke ground with plows 160 years ago. The United States Department of Agriculture measured national soil loss at 1.7 billion tons per year. That is 4.63 tons per acre annually stripped from agricultural land by wind and water. Penn State researchers confirmed this rate is accelerating as climate change delivers heavier downpours onto already degraded ground. And here's the number that should haunt every person who eats food. Generating 1 single inch of topsoil requires roughly 1,000 years of biological and geological processes. Some soil scientists now suspect Earth will run out of usable topsoil within 60 years. We are watching the foundation of civilization wash into the ocean. But there is a structure that stops this. It is not a dam. It is not a concrete channel. It is not a plastic drainage tile. It is a shallow trench dug perfectly level along the contour of a hillside. Every point along that trench sits at the exact same elevation. Water that enters it has nowhere to flow. It cannot move left. It cannot move right. It can only do one thing: sink straight down into the earth. This is called a swale. And on a properly contoured landscape, a swale can infiltrate 8 to 12 times more water than flat, unworked ground. The soil below becomes a living reservoir. Moisture spreads laterally through capillary action, feeding root systems meters away from the trench itself. In drought, that stored water sustains vegetation long after surface moisture has evaporated. In flood, the swale catches runoff that would otherwise scour the hillside bare and sends it underground instead. It catches not just water, but also soil and seeds and organic matter. Everything modern agriculture lets wash away, the swale holds in place. The Natural Resources Conservation Service measured infiltration rates across American soil types. Sandy loam, under ideal conditions, absorbs roughly 1 inch per hour, but compacted agricultural ground with crusted surfaces may infiltrate less than 1/10 of an inch per hour. 90% of the rain hits the surface and runs. A swale resets that equation entirely. By ponding water and holding it still, the trench gives time for gravity to pull moisture through even the most reluctant soil. But we did not discover this physics, we forgot it. 2,400 years ago, in what is now central Iran and Jordan, a civilization mastered water in ways that modern engineers still study with admiration. The Nabataeans date back to 586 BC. They built their capital at Petra inside a desert canyon where annual rainfall barely reached 4 inches, yet they fed a city of 30,000 people. Outside the city walls, dams closed off seasonal flood channels called wadis. Stone terraces climbed hillsides, catching every drop of runoff and trapping precious topsoil behind low walls of stacked rock. Researchers from Yarmouk University conducted field experiments in the Petra region using modern instruments to test these ancient terracing methods. Their findings confirmed that Nabataean contour structures dramatically reduce runoff while enhancing soil moisture retention and soil maturity. More than 200 water storage facilities have been documented at Petra alone, with a combined capacity of roughly 40 million liters. 40 million liters of water stored in a desert canyon. using nothing but shaped earth and stone. They were not alone. Every civilization that mastered water scarcity arrived at the same answer independently. In the Negev desert of Israel, ancient farmers built elaborate systems of dams and stone mounds and contour field plots that sustained agriculture through Roman, Byzantine, and early Islamic periods spanning centuries. Across the Pacific, the Inca carved 4,000 years of contour bench terraces called andines into near-vertical Andean mountain slopes. Each terrace was a level platform catching rain and snowmelt and routing it slowly downhill from tier to tier. In southern China, contour bunding formed the foundation of wet rice cultivation for 7,000 years. Paddies were built perfectly level across entire mountainsides, holding water in thin sheets that fed billions of people. In sub-Saharan Africa, farmers across the Sahel dug zai pits and half-moon catchments into hard laterite soil, the same physics everywhere. Slow the water, spread the water, sink the water, 5,000 years of proven engineering across every inhabited continent. Then in less than 1 century, Western agriculture abandoned all of it, and the man who tried to bring it back was an Australian mining engineer who had never farmed a day in his life. The year was 1944 December, farm country about 40 miles west of Sydney, Australia. The land baked under drought and decades of misguided grazing. Percival Alfred Yeomans had purchased roughly 1,000 acres of degraded land the year before, even though he had never worked a farm. He was a mining engineer, and that background turned out to be exactly the qualification this problem required. In gold mining, the cheap storage and transportation of water over long distances determines whether an operation survives or fails. Yeomans looked at his parched, eroded hillsides and recognized the same engineering challenge. Water was concentrating in valleys where it caused erosion and flooding, while ridgelines starved for moisture just meters away. The landscape was working against itself. He spent years walking the contour lines of his property, mapping water flow after every rain. And then he discovered something that changed agricultural engineering forever. At a specific point in every valley, the slope suddenly steepens. Above that point, water spreads wide and gentle. Below that point, water concentrates and accelerates into destructive channels. He called this inflection the key point, and the contour line passing through it he named the Keyline. Here was the genius. If you plow parallel to the Keyline but slightly off true contour, the furrows naturally drift water from valleys where it pools destructively toward ridges where it is desperately needed. You are not fighting gravity, you are redirecting it. Yeomans designed a special chisel plow that ripped into compacted subsoil without flipping it over. It fractured hardpan and created underground channels for water and root penetration while leaving the living biology of the topsoil intact on the surface. In 1954, Yeomans published his first book on keyline design. By 1974, his plow won the prestigious Prince Philip Prize for Australian design. David Holmgren, one of the two founders of the global permaculture movement, used Yeomans' keyline principles extensively when formulating his foundational design philosophy. Yeomans had proven that soil can be improved beyond its best natural fertility and that the process is simple, rapid, and economical. The documented results are staggering. At the Thomson Grazing Company property in Australia, the challenge was severe. 100-year-old springs had been dry since 1982. 70% of the ground was bare, exposed dirt. The team ripped 280 miles of keyline pattern swales with a subsoiler. By year 7, spring flow had restored at 0.8 liters per second for the first time in 4 decades. Stocking rate increased 5-fold from 1 cow per 15 acres to 1 cow per 3 acres. Soil carbon climbed 2.3%. Grazing gross margins rose 340%. This is a system that costs nothing in materials. It requires no electricity or fuel beyond the initial earthwork. It simultaneously prevents both drought and flood, and it builds topsoil instead of losing it. It has been validated by every major civilization across 5,000 years. Why have most Americans never heard of it? Follow the money, and the answer becomes painfully clear. Western states in America built their water laws around something called prior appropriation doctrine. This legal framework grants water rights based on who claimed them first. Under this system, every raindrop is considered part of the larger water supply. Rain falling on your own roof theoretically flows into streams and aquifers that downstream users already hold legal rights to. Colorado prohibited most residential rainwater collection for decades under exactly this principle. States including Arkansas, Kansas, Oregon, Utah, and Washington still require permits before any rainwater catchment can be implemented. Now think about what a swale does on a legal level. A swale on contour is, by definition, a structure that intercepts and detains water that would otherwise enter a natural waterway. In prior appropriation states, that is treated as a legal claim on water belonging to someone else. You dug a ditch on your own property with your own shovel, and you may be breaking the law. It gets worse. In Florida, one of the most common code violations homeowners face involves altering drainage swales on residential property. Even raising a swale by a few inches can trigger enforcement action because it redirects stormwater toward neighboring lots. On agricultural land, any construction site disturbing more than 1 acre requires a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit under the Clean Water Act regulations. A Keyline plowing operation that rips an entire farm on the contour easily crosses that threshold. Inspectors reviewing earthwork permits have no training in these systems. They cannot approve what their education never covered. The economic machinery behind this suppression is enormous. Every swale installed is a plastic drainage tile that never gets manufactured. Every Keyline pattern is a flood control project that never gets taxpayer funding. Every inch of water held in soil is an irrigation pump that never runs and a water bill that never gets paid. The agricultural drainage industry, the chemical fertilizer industry, and the flood control infrastructure complex all depend on water leaving the landscape as fast as possible. Systems that cost $0 in materials and run entirely on gravity cannot support industries built on complexity and recurring payments. The United States Fish and Wildlife Service quietly reveals the truth. Federal scientists are right now running Keyline design restoration projects on degraded rangeland in northern New Mexico. They are building swales and rip lines on contour to reduce runoff and improve soil moisture. The same government that restricts these techniques on private land through permits and water rights enforcement is deploying them on public land because they work. They have always worked. And in the places that never forgot, the results speak for themselves. In southwestern Wisconsin, a man named Mark Shepard purchased degraded former corn farmland and began one of the most ambitious agricultural conversions in American history. New Forest Farm now spans over 100 acres of perennial food production. Shepard followed Keyline principles and built a vast network of pocket ponds and contour swales to slow and spread rainwater across the property. Over 20 years of documented management, he has continually increased topsoil depth, soil organic matter, and drought resistance on land that industrial corn farming had nearly destroyed. In the American Southwest, a quarter-acre residential lot receiving just 7 inches of annual rainfall was transformed with 3 60-foot contour swales on a 3% slope feeding fruit tree berms along the downhill side. The homeowner had been paying $380 per month for water. By year 3, that bill dropped 62%. Soil depth on the lot grew from 4 inches to 14 inches. Researchers documented 12 native bee species on the property compared to just 2 before the swales were dug. In Germany, federal agencies have officially recognized Keyline adaptation as a critical tool for climate-resilient land use. German agricultural policy promotes swale and contour systems for their proven ability to retain soil moisture, limit erosion, and buffer the devastating effects of both droughts and extreme rainfall events. The techniques American regulators restrict are the same ones German engineers receive government support to build. You can build this yourself. The tools required are almost absurdly simple. An A-frame level made from 2 sticks and a crossbar and a hanging plumb line is the oldest surveying instrument on Earth. It is accurate enough to find true contour on any slope in your yard. For residential scale, you need a swale roughly 18 inches deep and 3 to 4 feet wide dug along contour. Most municipalities exempt earthwork under 500 cubic yards from grading permits entirely. The Keyline principle works at any scale. After the next heavy rain, walk your property and watch carefully. Find where water concentrates and flows fastest. That is your valley line. Now find the point where the slope transitions from gentle to steep. That is your key point. Dig or plow parallel to that contour line, letting the slight deviation drift water from the wet valley toward the dry ridge. Plant the downhill berm of every swale with deep-rooted perennials, fruit trees, berry bushes, native grasses. Their roots lock the earthwork in place, while their canopy shades the swale and slows evaporation. And one critical detail about permits: language matters more than technique. The words infiltration garden and bioswale and rain garden all appear in most municipal stormwater codes as approved best management practices. A permaculture swale performs the identical function but carries a name that regulators do not recognize. Use their vocabulary. Build the same structure. The water does not care what you call the ditch it sinks through. A level trench dug with a shovel holds water where it falls and sends it deep into the earth. The Nabataeans knew this 2,400 years ago at Petra. The Inca knew it in the Andes. Chinese rice farmers knew it on terraced mountainsides for 7 millennia. An Australian mining engineer named Percival Yeomans proved it with modern instruments in 1944. 57 billion tons of American topsoil have washed away because we forgot what every ancient civilization remembered. Gravity still works. Contour still holds. The soil beneath your property is waiting to be asked to hold water instead of letting it run away. Every raindrop that hits your land is a choice. Let it wash away or let it stay. The earth has been waiting. It has always been waiting. If this changed how you think about construction, subscribe to Building Grounds with Greg. Please watch the next video appearing on your screen right now.